Hello beauties, how are you all doing? My name is Shaz and I love colorful makeup, as you can see. Today I'm so excited because we are going to talk about new makeup that has released. And we're going to talk about whether we're going to pick it up, whether we're not going to pick it up, and generally my opinion on these new releases. At the same time, I'm going to do this eye look for you all with Nomad's Monteverde Palette. Nomad just did a release of a new palette. We'll talk about that briefly. And also I have used Zulu Palette from Juvia's place. Juvia's has also done a release. We'll talk about that also. Super exciting times, beauties. If you're excited like me, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Let's jump into the video now. Okay, beauties, we're gonna get started. I have my coffee. One of you all taught me that candles are harmful to birds, so we're not gonna do a candle this week. I also wanted to tell you all, look at my nails. So these are the nail lacquers from Clionadh. This color, I don't remember the name of this color. I have to find it, but this is like insane. I think you all see sort of a gold, like brownie gold, which is so odd because this is supposed to be purple to green, and most times it is purple to green. So look at these, just cute and beautiful. And if you all want me to try all of them on in my channel, I can do that. Let me show you every single one. These are just very, very nice. I think these came out to each around $10. This is the one that I'm using. If you can see, it's purple from some angles. The packaging for these and just the quality and everything is very, very luxe. I think they were each $10-ish. You see that this is also a beautiful color. This is Forge. I think they were each $10, and I think they're totally worth it. I mean, nowadays you buy like regular drugstore stuff for $10. These are so beautiful. I think I mentioned I bought 2 of their bundles. Now I think if you get them out of the bundle, they might be a little more pricey. Like some of them are a little more pricey, but so beautiful. Yeah, so this is one last sort of a look. They're so beautiful. I'm so happy I bought them. I think the price totally justifies what you see. These are beautiful. So just letting you all know, and as you can see, I'm wearing it. Another thing that I received since last week, and I talked about in my last to buy or not to buy, is these. Yes, I bought Angelica Nyquist's Singe Beauty brushes. These are the only products she has. I think one of you commented on my channel telling me they're on sale, and I was like, I need to buy them. They're on sale. And I bought it immediately, and they were still on sale when I did that. We're going to use them today. And I think Angelica lives in Austin, so I ended up receiving them yesterday. And I'm going to start using Painterly from MAC. Yeah, so I am pretty excited about everything I have received. Let me know down below if you want me to do a dedicated video or a video for the nail lacquers, for example. I can do that. These are so beautiful, and I mean, I don't want to say somebody's going to miss out on them, but they are just very different from what I've seen in most other brands, and they're very nice quality. So I'm so excited for it. And then obviously I also bought Deep Sea Treasure palette that came in this little box thingy. I mean, it looks like a box. And this is the palette. Now we're not going to use this palette today because I have some other palettes planned for right now, but there is going to be a video. I'm going to make eye looks with this palette later in a video for you all. And beauties, before I get started, I used this beautiful palette Into the Night from Glaminatrix last time. I intend to make a video doing at least 2 more eye looks with it. Let me know down below if that would be something you're interested in. This palette is going to be out of stock for a little bit. I think they still have some, but they said they're not going to restock it until later in the year. So it's going to come back. It's just not going to be coming back immediately. And you know, I can do a video still with it. if you all want. Just let me know. I'm trying to figure out what to prioritize. Beauty is getting started. This is the first one I want to talk about, which I spoke about last week briefly, and this is now fully revealed. All That Jazz Cosmos palette from Anastasia. I have to give it to them. They tried to go a little bit more colorful than before. So there's two bluish colors in this palette, and I also noticed that some of the other shimmers are also sort of a duochrome, like a red base with a gold glaze on top kind of a color. Now beauties, we are working in the indie space. So these colors have existed, I want to say at least since 2017 in the indie space. And some of them are kind of passe, to be honest. Like, for example, the red base with the gold hue. I have 200 colors like that from brands that make much more shimmery, vibrant, shifty kind of eyeshadows. Now, I do want to buy Anastasia and try it again at some point. I just don't know if this is the palette for me. Just wanted to make sure I talk about that because I didn't really have a chance to talk about it last time because it wasn't revealed last time. The next thing I want to talk about is Sydney Grace's new collaboration with Glitzy Fritzy. I didn't know about her channel, but I'm so excited for her. When one of your fellow social media personalities does a collab, it's always super exciting. Although this palette, as you all can imagine, is a little too neutral, a little more than a little. So it's not for me, but I'm definitely very excited for her. This palette is launching June 7th. It's $52, and she herself has a discount code, it seems, if you want to get some money off. It's kind of exciting for me to sort of try to see what kind of brushes Angelica likes to use. These are truly smaller than the brushes I use on the daily. Maybe I have way more flab on the back of my eyes, I don't know, but exciting. I'm gonna get started with this beautiful color Glass Wings. It's a beautiful green. I'm just starting in my outer V area and deepening it out with this beautiful green color. Beauties, it seems like everybody's now coming out with multichrome eyeliners. Who did that first? Was it Kaleidos that did that first? Because they did it a while ago, right? Although I also have a few like liquid ones from Sugar Drizzle that released sometime last year, but I think Kaleidos was the first. And you know, I never purchased any, but now Moira Cosmetics is coming out with these, and they're going to be $6 each, and the price is not so bad. I'm impressed. Yeah, this is called the Supernova Collection. Because I quickly wanted to talk about this release from Dior. This is Backstage Rosy Glow Blush that released from Dior. These are going to be $40 each, so way above my budget for a blush. Another thing I wanted to mention, I obviously follow Marlene Estelle, who was an OG influencer and owner of Makeup Geek. And she does a lot of videos where she talks about like the beauty industry. And one of the things she mentioned in one of her videos, if I find the video, I'll tag it below, was that a blush is never really worth the price because a blush is essentially an eyeshadow. Like, it's just a larger panned eyeshadow. Not that I had never thought of that, but that was pretty eye-opening, and I thought to myself, oh, interesting. Obviously, Dior has to charge $40 for brush because it's Dior. It's great to see that they are being a little bit more inclusive with their coloring. You know, I'm seeing those two dark colors that are obviously designed for deeper tone skins, and this is great to see because I can imagine the challenges of trying to purchase makeup in an industry that's not very favorable to deeper toned skins. So glad that Dior is doing it. Let's talk about this one. This is from Spectrum Collections. I'm supposing this is a collab with Mickey Mouse. It's gonna have 10 brushes in it, and it has already released a few days ago. It's It's gonna have Mickey and Friends design, and it is around $62. I'm guessing maybe Spectrum Cosmetics might be not an American brand, which is usually why they might be a different price, or not an exact price, I mean. Beauties, let's talk about this one just because you all know I'm not really a Pat McGrath person, but Pat McGrath is releasing this collection. This is called Divine Blush Color Balm Collection. This is going to have Legendary Glow Color Balm in 6 shades, and they're $30 each. And the eyeshadow quad is $62. That's more than Natasha Denona almost, because like Natasha Denona is gonna have 15 colors in it, at least. You can buy the whole kit for $245. You can buy the blushes only for $146. You can buy Iron Cheek Trio for $123. I'm not sure what the Iron Cheek Trio includes. You just have to go on Pat McGrath's website and see. Because Pat McGrath is not a brand that I think about a lot. The core of the reason for that is because it is mostly neutral colors. I can guarantee you if Pat McGrath did more vibrant colors, I would pick something up from her. In fact, one of her Celestial Divinity collections, the very first one, I purchased in a sale 2 years ago, and later they canceled my order and refunded my money. Otherwise, I have tried, and I thought that palette was beautiful and it was my kind of thing. If I find a photo, I'll put it up so you know what I'm talking about. You know, it wasn't meant to be. So I recognize that Pat McGrath is not within a lot of budgets. I'm not gonna say it is within my budget. It's not. But you know, every once in a while, particularly that I have a channel, I would be open to trying something from them if I can find something that is going to make sense in the portfolio of things that I review. I have seen quite a bit of Pat McGrath at TJ Maxx. And speaking of that, because I mentioned I'm going to do a TJ Maxx like what I found at TJ Maxx, let me tell you all that I found today some palette from Gwen Stefani's collection at TJ Maxx. It was a very nudie thing, a quad, not something I would wear at all. Like it was the opposite definition of something I would wear. It was like all dark browns. But I found it at TJ Maxx, and frankly, if Gwen Stefani comes up with something more colorful and I see it at TJ Maxx, I could pick it up and do you all a review. We have already talked about Sydney Grace, but let's also talk about this one. This is their June bundle. I've mentioned in the past some of the bundles that they have. They do a bundle every month, and this is going to be the June bundle. It is, you can get a 30% discount when you purchase these as a set, and it is $30. It's already available. I love the sticker. I bought their Mel Thompson collection and they sent me a fall sticker that was in the fall. It's so cute. Beauties, continuing with this eye look, I'm going to look up and just do this in my lower lash line. Let's talk about this one. This is Tarte's new release. Did Tarte really need this? I'm just so confused. I feel like Tarte's line literally includes a lot of dupes of this. The only new thing in this palette are the two shimmery blue and purple. And maybe the shimmery silver. Maybe the photo is bad. I don't know. It's just this whole thing is so, I want to say 2016. Like, this is not something we should see in 2023. This is like beyond passé. But Tarte is a very neutral brand, so maybe this palette is for some people. It's just not for my channel. I want to stay open-minded. This is already available and it is $50. Not going to spend too much time talking about it because it's not for my channel. Beauties, let's talk about this one. This is from Kimchi Chic. Kimchi Chic is doing a lot of things because I think I talked about another palette of theirs like last week. This is called the Donut Collection. And beauties, I like this. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I am not a pastel lover. I have mentioned it in this channel in the past that I don't really use pastels a lot. And if I do, I use it in combination with other darker colors. The reason for that is that I have dark features, as you can see, and if I use a light pastel-y color, it's gonna really wash me out. It's gonna look like I have used a very low quality, like clear makeup type of a thing. That's part of the reason I don't use pastels. My favorite pastel palette that I continue to like use as a stable pastel palette is the Strawberry Dream palette from Glamlight. Yes, Glamlight, I love that palette. Thank you for that palette. It's a beautiful palette. I think I probably have other pastel palettes too, but I'm not someone who's going to go pick up new pastel palettes because I feel like I have it already and I don't use it enough. But with all that said, I'm here for this palette. It's really cute. And y'all, there is more than just one. It's this one, and then there is this one. And then there is this one. So the first one is called Rainbow Sprinkles. So cute. Beautiful. The second one is Strawberry Cream. Super cute. And the third one is Maple Bacon Glaze. I give it to Kimchi Chic. This is cute. The concept is cute. The naming is cute. They're $20. Great price for 16 pans. Although I don't know how big they are, but honestly, I have never hit pan. It doesn't matter the size, but of course I have a gigantic collection. I like this. Friends, I'm now going to go into this color called Green Spiny Lizard. Ooh, look at that. I love this palette, beauties. It's still available. I think they also offer it in singles if you all want it, just to pick a few colors. Beautiful palette, Nomad. Great job on this palette. I am going to just blend this edge into my skin. And now I'm looking up and diffusing the lower lash line a little bit. I'm really liking this. Very nice. I'm just loving the greens, and I've mentioned in the past, greens remind me of the spring. We're still in the spring. We're gonna get close to the summer, and we're gonna have a few things just made for the summer, a few videos, but stay tuned for those. Friends, because there are not a lot of palettes, let's talk about this. Gucci Beauty is coming out with a few lipsticks. Long-lasting satin lips. They are each $45. Yes, if you have a lot of money to spare, if you're just like, I have $45 to burn, I don't know what to do with it, Gucci Beauty is there for you. Like, seriously, I could probably buy 2 palettes with that. I mean, if you have that kind of money to spend, good for you. I'm excited for you. If this makes you happy, I'm excited for you. I unfortunately am not blessed like that, so it's not something I can afford, but these are already available at Sephora. So it seems like this isn't a new lipstick, but it's just a new shade. And there's 2 new shades. This is Merry Mauve, and this one, well, there's actually 3. This one is Pauline Red, and then the other one is Valeria Rose. And they're all available at Sephora. I can't afford this kind of stuff. It's just too expensive for me. And between spending $45 on this and spending $45 on a palette, I will prefer a colorful palette. Now, beauties, this is the palette I finally picked. This is Zulu. This is a palette that is still available. Some of the palettes that I have been discontinued and might no longer be available from Juvia's Place. And I thought it might not make sense to make videos with a palette that's not available, just in case you want to replicate this eye look. We are going to use this beautiful, beautiful color. I have used it. I loved this palette. I used to play around with this palette all the time. I would make eye looks and go to work with it before the whole situation in the globe. And let me tell you a little bit about the new thing from Juvia's, which is Culture 2 palette. Now, if you all remember, they had a Culture 1 palette. I never purchased that. I think because it had, did it have a pressed glitter? I think it had a pressed glitter. That's why I didn't purchase it. Or that I just didn't need the colors. Like, there was a reason why I didn't purchase it. And this palette, friends, is beautiful. And it's $36, which is an amazing price for these many shades. and it's 30 pan. And I love the fact that it's so colorful, you know, it's not like just one color theme. This is beautiful. It's already available. I could get lured to pick this palette up, although right now I really like to use the ones that I already have. What I really like about this palette, beauties, are the two greenish rose, and then I also really like that lavender color. Also, beauties, I'm curious to know if these colors are duochromes. I see some potential duochrome colors, but I don't know if they are duochromes. Yes, there are multiple duochromes in this palette, which is amazing for $36. I might pick this palette up. In fact, I passed by an Ulta today. I could have probably picked it up. Another thing is that I'm pretty sure you can get the whole Ulta coupon, you know, the $15, $3 off of 15 on Juvia's Place stuff. So if you end up picking up these kinds of things from Ulta, don't forget to use those. But of course, on Juvia's site, you can always use someone's code, and on a lot of other stuff that I mentioned, you can use someone's code. Don't forget that. I could pick this palette up, beauties, because I have tried some of duochromes from Juvia's Place. In their Candy Shop palette that I think was released earlier this year, they had duochromes. They also had duochromes in Garden of Juvia, and when I swatched those duochromes at Ulta, they were beautiful. It was amazing quality. Beauties, Juvia's Place has great quality. Don't get fooled by the price. It's a fantastic brand. Which is part of the reason why I own so many things from them. And in fact, these are not all the palettes. These are only the 9 pans that I have. I have a lot more. In fact, these are not even all the 9 pans that I have. I have a lot of palettes from Juvia's. In fact, I even have a video with the Fulla palette in this channel that I purchased sort of end of last year. I'll tag that video if you're interested. Fantastic brand. I would not sleep on Juvia's, which is why I'm like, I might want to pick this up. So I said all of that to say I might pick this up. Should I pick this up? Let me know what you think. And let's move on because I already talked too much about it. I also feel like if I end up picking that up, as you all know, I have this beauty. This is shade 2, which I have learned is a little dark for me. It's a little too yellow for me. I might buy shade 1 just to test. Who knows? I might add a bunch of other things to cart too. Beauties, the BH Cosmetics is coming out with bronzers. These are already available. I do not have a price for them. I also don't really use bronzers, but I'm very excited. The reason I'm excited is that BH Cosmetics is one of my favorite brands. I probably purchased every single thing they released in 2019, 2020 during the whole global thing. I have multiple eye looks I've created with different palettes from BH in this channel, and that I can probably even turn into a playlist and add it down below. I'm excited that after they got acquired by Revolution Beauty, they're still going strong. They're still releasing stuff. I haven't really purchased anything from them recently. I know they did eyeliners. They're now doing bronzers, so it's super exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing more, and I would be open to purchasing stuff if they get out of the nude situation and get into more colorful stuff. Totally would purchase more. Beauties, we already talked about Tarte. They also released the baby palette for it. In case I didn't mention, the name of the palette was Big Ego, and this is probably the mini Big Ego. Yeah, so this is also available for $25. I'm actually more excited about this one than the other one because the other one looked like it had, I don't know, any other shade that was in it other than these 6 was redundant, evidently. So I'm more excited about this, but not for me still. Also, Tarte has released Tartelette Fresh Picked, which is another 6-pan palette that is also $25. Not for me. Yeah, that's all I can say. Before I go into the next one, I'm going to use a little bit of NYX's glitter primer. I'm letting it sit and dry a little bit just to be a tiny bit tacky, and in that time I'm not going to open my eyes because then my lids are going to get stuck to everything. Beauties, this palette doesn't have names. I think this is Yeah, I don't see names on the back either. It just has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of numbering, but it's unclear which one is one. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna go into this beautiful green. Beautiful. We're gonna just dab it. I have used this palette with the green in across the lid like this and the dark purple in my outer V area. So that's another look you can do just with the Zulu palette. Continuing, friends, with the reason we even used Nomad in this eye, and I'm gonna go back to what I talked about last week. I think the palette was revealed after I had videoed, so I wasn't exactly sure what the color story looked like, I believe. And now we know the color story, and it is a beautiful palette. One thing I realized, friends, is that the palette doesn't look so different from this one. Girl, the greens in that palette are pretty much kind of covered in this palette. And I'm not so excited about the other colors in the palette because I'm not a neutral loving person, but I could see that most people love neutrals, so I could see people loving it, which is totally fine. We don't all have to love the same things. So if you like that palette, I think it's a great price. I also really liked the quality of Nomad palettes that I've used. You just saw it perform. Definitely try it and let me know what you think once you do in the comments below. I wanted to also talk about this one because this is very exciting for me. Anytime I see brands that you see in the drugstore release colorful things, it's so exciting for me, and I'm so glad to see NYX come out with these. Now, NYX does have some other 16 pans that are very similar to these that were staples in their collection from a long time ago. In fact, the colorful 16 pan from before and the one that was warm neutrals, I have. So I'm a little bit curious if these are the revamp of those. Are they like phasing those out and now you're gonna get these? Because that one also was called warm neutrals, and maybe the bright one was called I Know That's Bright. Now the bright one, I have it. As I said, I also have the warm neutrals, and the bright one, the one that I have, is all mattes. There might be some satins in it. This one looks like it has shimmers in it too. These are $20 each. I believe I purchased mine for like 16 or 18. But I'm excited to see more vibrant colors, as I mentioned, in brands that are considered drugstore now. You all might come at me and remind me that NYX is not drugstore. I don't know. Is it drugstore? And now that we're talking about drugstore beauties, this is another one I wanted to talk about. This is from LA Girl Cosmetics. These are considered body and face palettes. So yeah, it says for body and face, so don't put glitters on your eyes. The prices range between $11 and $13, and you can buy these at Ulta. I have a lot of stuff from LA Girl. Well, maybe not a lot of stuff. I have some of their 16 pan palettes, and I like their quality. I think they're great for the price. I just don't see myself reaching for them often. So I'm gonna pass on these, but I am excited to see more colorful things at Ulta in the drugstore non-prestige section. Beauties, let's talk about this one, which is what probably a lot of people are talking about, and that is the new Natasha Denona palette. This palette's called the Yucca. Is it Yucca or Yucca? English is not my first language. Is that even an English word? Anyway, that's the name of the palette. I don't know if the whole color story looks yellow because of the background and the lighting, or that the color story is actually very yellow. And the truth is, if this palette looks really like this, I'm probably gonna pass. But if it's a little bit more cool toned, I could actually see myself buy. Yes, beauties, I'm actually confessing that I might buy a Natasha Denona palette. Part of the reason for that is also that this palette is not a $140 palette and is only $70. I think it's the, what is that, midi version, which is the $70 one, and then the larger one is the grande. Doesn't matter. I might pick something up from Natasha Denona. We'll see. I might not. really depends on what the color story looks like. I haven't been able to really find a good swatch that I can say this is true. I'm not someone who goes to Sephora regularly to say I'll find it and swatch it. Also, some Sephoras don't bring Natasha Denona not that fast. But if I find honest like videos, photos of this, we'll see. You know what this palette reminds me of, beauties? It reminds me of Prism palette from Anastasia of Beverly Hills. Now, some of you who are probably as old as me remember that palette from, was that 2017? Like November 2017 or something like that. Yes, beauties. Doesn't it look similar? Because it has the purple, it has the neon yellow, it has the dark greens. And to think that Anastasia came up with this palette like 6 years ago. And then we see Anastasia come up with like the stuff Anastasia comes up with today. What happened, Anastasia? Did the, I don't know, creative director like leave the company or something? Moving on. This one is from Shu Amora. I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce it. I used to see this brand a lot when I lived in Singapore. And I always wanted to buy something from them because this is 7-8 years ago we're talking about, and back then I did not have a gigantic colorful collection, and they were the ones who had some color in their palette. So I'm excited to see that they're still around and they're still releasing palettes with some colors in them. I think they will be a brand that I will try at some point in time. I'm excited, but I don't think I'm going to pick anything up from the collection. Beauties, I'm going to quickly go into this toucan color. This is brush 05, and I'm putting this in my inner corner. This is supposed to be a very neon-y yellow color. This is more neon than the yellow that is in Zulu. Let me quickly show you the Zulu yellow. Yeah, so this is a little bit more canary yellow, and the other one is more neon, so I'm using the neon one. Neon colors are usually a little thin. I'm not too concerned about that. To me, that doesn't necessarily say that this palette is not good quality, because that's just kind of the texture of neon colors in general. We've talked about it when I did last To Buy or Not to Buy with the pink neon that I used in that palette. So I'm not too concerned. And in fact, I like that for the inner corner. I don't want the inner corner to look too thick. Continuing, I want to talk about this one. This is Glam Ghoul Boutique. Ice cream for ice cream. Cute. And this palette is $12. This gives me the, like, the price and everything gives me the ColourPop 20, I don't know, 15 vibes. When the 12-pan palettes were $12, I remember I used to think that they're like $1 a shade. Cute palette. I would like to hear more about this brand before buying anything, although $12, come on. Is this themed after something? It looks like it's themed after something. Let me know if you know. Should I buy this and try it? Let me know. Let's talk about Catrice that's releasing their summer stuff. So they have the Summer Obsession Bronze Blush Highlighter Palette for $12. They have the Air Blush Glow, $6 each. I think it's the 3 sticks. They have Air Blush Matte, I think is the pans. And then Cheek Flirt Face Stick. Oh, maybe those are the sticks. Regardless, Air Blush Glow, Air Blush Matte, and Cheek Flirt Stick are each $6. And these are all available. Beauties, let's talk about these ones, because I mentioned that at some point that I might pick them up. I don't think ColourPop is having the 30% off sale, but they restocked the Chrome Liquid Shadows from the Cora collection, or Legend of Cora collection. There were 4 shades. The packaging on these is super cute. These were how ColourPop released and launched their liquid multichrome shades. So these are each liquid multichromes, and the green one really caught my attention when they released. I was in Europe, so I didn't do a video on these, but these have restocked. If you're curious, they're available right now if you want to buy them. I don't have a price, but you know, it's ColourPop, so it can't be too pricey. Beauties, let's talk about this one because I think last time I said that literally every week I'm seeing a new release from Ladybug Glow. And yes, we have a new release from them. These two palettes, I mean, good for Ladybug Glow. Business must be booming if they're releasing so many things. Okay, beauties, these two are one palette with the shifts. So it's gonna look in some angles more pink, in some angles more yellow. Just FYI. And this palette is $33-ish. You can use code and get it for $3 or so cheaper. I'm guessing it's a 10% code. And it's going to be coming soon. I still have the palette I talked about in my last video on my mind. I don't know what happened to that. I couldn't find it on their Etsy shop, so I'm still looking for that launching or restocking. And I'm still debating whether I should pick it up. I think I might. This is a little neutral for me. You all know that, but I'm excited to see small brands being so prolific. Business is booming, obviously. So excited for that. And Ladybug Glow is definitely a brand that I've heard a lot about. I see a lot around, and I'm excited to try them. They do a lot of colorful stuff, so obviously I'm not going to pick this palette up as their first palette that I'm going to pick up. I'm going to pick a colorful option. One thing that is very surprising to me is that I have not seen a lot of Pride palettes. Where are all the Pride palettes for this month? I'm curious. Brands, where are your Pride palettes? I want to see them. Bring it on. Okay, and while we're waiting for that, I'm going to talk about this one. This is, I'm supposing Season of the Witch from Notoriously Morbid is going to be 4 palettes that come out each season. I talked about the first one. I'm thinking that was probably for spring. And this is going to be probably for summer. And they haven't revealed the inside yet, but they're saying that this is going to come out June 9th at 12 p.m. You can get 15% off with some codes, so definitely do that. I am very intrigued. You all know I love collecting things, particularly things that come in sequences. This is just like a bad thing for my psychology because I would totally go pick all of these up. I said no to the first one just because it was not dark enough. Don't do this to me, Notoriously Morbid, but it is definitely a brand that I am interested in picking something up from. You all have told me they're amazing. So they're going to happen this year. It's going to happen. And I mentioned last year in my palettes I want to try in 2023 that I want to try them. So it's going to happen this year. Is it going to be the one? Is it going to be the series that I'm going to own? We'll see. And beauties, before I forget, let me also mention this one. Clionadh Cosmetics is going to have their summer site-wide sale for 15% off. I'm guessing everything. This excludes bundles. They might have other deals on things. So definitely check it out. And it's going to start on the 6th of June, which is in a few days. And it's going to end on the 11th of June. So if there was anything from Clionadh you have been eyeing, wanting to pick up, do that. Most of what they have released recently has been neutral or has been face stuff, which is the reason I haven't shopped from them. But I do have some other stuff that I purchased in the past from Clionadh. I like the brand. I think they're high quality. I have the Club Nebula palette from Angelica. Obviously we support Angelica in this channel. Yeah, I have that palette, and I have the Escape Pod palette. I have all of their face stuff. Yeah, I have quite a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through details, but if there's anything you want to pick from them, now's your chance. You can get some money off. And you might also be able to use someone's code on top of the whole sale. So definitely try that in case. Beauties, let's talk about this one. Fenty is releasing Cherry Dub Crew Super Fine Daily Cleansing Face Scrub with triple actioned alpha hydroxy acid body scrub. So these are 2 scrubs, one for body, one for face. The body one has AHA or alpha hydroxy acid in it. The face one is 28, body one is 36. You can buy the duo for 65. This is going to come soon. I am always in the market for face cleaners or face cleansing products. Do I want to use scrubs? I don't know. They say scrubs are abrasive for your face.
And do I want to use something with alpha hydroxy acid on my body? I don't know. I don't know enough about alpha hydroxy acid to know how I'm going to react to it, because some of these more extreme treatments might not have the same reaction on different people. Fendi is definitely a brand I would buy from, of course. Love Rihanna. So I would keep an eye open, because this is definitely something that, like, I generally like face cleansers, and this is something I'm in the market for pretty much all the time. Would it be this product or not? I'm curious. So I'm definitely going to read reviews and look out for it when it comes out. I also love cherries. Beauties. I have family in Michigan. Cherry wine, everybody. Love it. Beauties, let's talk about this one that I talked about, I want to say the week before last or some time ago. These have now been fully revealed. Back then it was just sort of an ideation with one photo, and it looks like these are going to be the colors you're going to have. These look beautiful, don't get me wrong. I'm more likely to use the iridescent edge for inner corner or like brow bone, because I'm not even using the eyeliner, the three whatever multi-chromey eyeliners that I have from Sugar Drizzle, the liquid ones. I have not even tried them. So I bought them a long time ago, many months ago. So I don't see myself really using these if I purchase them. They're just gonna sit around. So I'm likely not gonna buy them, but they look like a great concept. And if I end up becoming someone who uses more liners than I do, these would be stuff I would be interested in. Friends, let me also talk about this one. I'm kind of excited about this. This is the UV Radioactive Collection. There's 16 new UV pressed loose pigment and lip glosses, and this is from SNB Beauty. Beauties, I've talked about SNB Beauty in a lot of these to buy or not to buys. They are an English brand, and they come up with a lot of very creative and cool things like this. Those neon shades, friends, like radioactive. Like, if there was a palette that had all of these neon shades, I would be buying it right now. I would not even think twice about it. Which is why I'm thinking, do I want to buy this? It says if you spend 15 British pounds, you will get a free gift. And you can also use the code PRIDE for a discount. I can see that this colorful shade is for Pride Month. I'm waiting for other brands to come out with things for Pride Month. And I also see, you know, the lip colors. I don't know how they're going to look like. I always wonder if this is going to be opaque, if this is going to be transparent. I'm curious. If I find anything, I'll post about it. But if you know anything, let me know down below. Exciting. Beauties, I did want to mention that this palette from Singe Cosmetics, Nola, called Forest Heart. This is not a new palette. We've seen it in Instagram and the influencer space already. I think I might have even talked about it a couple of weeks ago in To Buy or Not to Buys. It seems like this palette is restocked, because I keep getting some information about it and new photos and so on from people receiving it in Instagram. So if this is a palette you've been waiting for, check their website out. I find this palette super beautiful. I know it's in collaboration with Smink, and Smink is a very creative person. I have her collaboration with Saints, Angels, and Sinners from last year, which is one of my favorite palettes. I have mentioned that at length in this channel, how much I love that palette, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this video about that. I'm so excited to see this palette being back, and if you've been waiting for it, now is your chance to pick it up. Although it's a beautiful palette, I might pass right now. There's a lot of stuff that I just bought. There's also a few things that I'm waiting to receive. I want to make sure I have enough time to make videos with the things that I just got, so that the things that go up are not too old. Let me know though, if there's anything you all want to see me play with, let me know. I would be open to that as well. Okay, beauties, with that we come to the end of this video. I went ahead and put on my lips this color from ColourPop called Chronos. Beautiful color, as you can see. It might or might not be available. You can check out ColourPop's website for it. Thank you so much for being here with me as always. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. Don't forget to write to me in the comments below what your thoughts are on the things that I talked about. I love you all. Have an amazing day, and until next time. Bye.